Folks. For today's lesson, you are going to need a piece of paper, a pair of scissors, some glue, and something to color with. It could be markers, crayons, or color pencils. And if you don't have any glue, then you can use tape. And it does not have to be a glue stick. If you have liquid glue, that's fine too. We're going to start by folding our paper. So turn your paper long ways or landscape like this. And you're going to bring this short side right here over to this other short side. So I'm going to pick up this end and bring it across. Before I press it down, I want to make sure my corners are matched up. I'm going to hold with one hand, and then I'm going to slide over, up, and down. And then to make a really crisp fold, I'm going to go over it a couple more times. Alright, now I'm going to open that up. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut my paper in half. We're going to take one piece and set it aside. We'll come back to it later. And then you're going to do some more folding on this piece. So now it's turned tall like a building, also known as portrait. And I'm going to bring the short side up to the other short side. Match up your corners, hold with one hand, slide down, side to side, and then do that again. Slide down, side to side. Alright, now open that up and do the same thing you did before. Cut on your folds. So wherever you see a fold, like right there I have a fold in my paper, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along that fold all the way from the bottom to the top. Alright, now I'm going to take two of these, set them aside. I'm going to take one of these pieces of paper and I'm going to cut off just a little bit from the end. So I'm not going to the middle. This would be the middle where my thumb is now. I want to cut more like half of the half, or also known as a quarter. I'm going to cut that little edge off there. Now I can set this one aside. And then I have this one. And this one, fold it in half again. And I'm going to cut on the halfway line. And then I'm going to set one of those aside. So I have these two smaller rectangles in front of me. Alright, on the smaller rectangle, I'm going to make two stick arms. So I'm over here on this edge. I have to be able to cut around them, so I want to make the arm kind of thick. So I have something to cut. Then I want to go over to the opposite side, do the same thing. So I have two arms. Notice they don't touch each other because I'm going to be cutting them out, so I don't want them to overlap or they won't look the same when I cut them out. Now I need to take an orange and I need to make a triangle. If you haven't figured it out yet, we are making a snowman, and these are his arms and his carrot nose. I'm going to put those markers back. I'm going to use my scissors to cut that out. Set those aside because I'm not quite ready to glue them to anything yet. Now, if you have different colored paper, you can skip the coloring step and you could just use the different colored paper. So you could use brown paper to make the arms, and you could use orange paper to make the nose. Alright, there's one stick. Oop, dropped it. And there's the second one. And I have some little white paper peeking through. I'm not going to try to cut that off. No reason to. I'm just going to take my brown, fill it in. Problem solved. Alright, now I need to make half of a circle, and I can freeform that, so I could just draw it from one corner to the next, like the arch of a rainbow, or I could take something round and only trace half of it. I'm going to lay my little tin of putty here, but only halfway on the paper. And trace around just part of it. And then this is going to be for my snowman's hat. So whatever color you want your snowman's hat to be is the color you're going to color this half circle before you cut it out. I set it over there with my arms and my carrot nose. Alright, now let's bring back our tall skinny piece of paper from earlier. And right down here near the bottom, but not too far down, I'm going to draw kind of a little bit of a bump, not much, all the way from one side to the other, so it runs off the page on both sides. I'm going to leave from the line down white, and then I'm going to color from the line up blue. I've been using markers so far, but I think for this part I'm going to switch to crayons. You decide what works best for you. Just make from the line up a blue color, and you can decide which blue you use, or you can use more than one blue if you really want to add some interest to your sky. Alright, now that I've got my sky all colored, we are ready to start assembling. So I'm going to get back my pieces from earlier. Remember, I have three different sizes, 4 pieces of paper. So 2 the same size, and then a medium, and then a small. So I'm going to start with the 2 biggest ones. I'm going to open my glue, and I'm going to put some glue. I don't want glue on top of my background there. I'm going to put some glue right along this bottom edge here. The glue stick, I'm really going to get a lot. If you're using liquid glue, you don't need that much. Alright, now I'm going to curl it like I'm making a tube. So I'm going to grab the bottom and the top and I'm going to bring them together. And I'm just going to press them, hold for a couple seconds to make sure they're really glued tight. I'm going to do the same thing with the other long piece and the medium piece. Alright, now I am going to glue them to my paper. So down here on the bottom where my two parts come together, I'm going to put some more glue, and then I'm going to press it into the paper. I want to make sure at least part of it touches the white. So it doesn't have to be all the way in the white, but at least part of it. So it looks like I built my snowman from the snow on the ground. I'm going to stack the second one on top of it. Then I'm going to put the third one right above that. There we go. Need to add my face, so I'm going to get my black marker. I'm going to put eyes and a mouth. Going to add buttons. So I'm going to add the glue right here on the front, just at the very bottom. And I'm going to stick it in the inside of the circle there, right at the top. I'm going to get my carrot nose. This time I'm going to flip it to the back and add the glue. Put that on my face. Alright, and now we are ready for the hat. And I just realized I have not colored my paper to match the brim of my hat. So I'm going to do that real quick. Now that I have my hat colored, I'm actually going to turn it upside down. I'm going to put the glue on the edge on the back, just like we did for the body. And I'm just going to curl it around. And that's going to be his little top hat. And if you don't want it quite that tall, you can always trim some off the top, or you can leave it nice and tall like that. It's totally up to you. I'm going to make mine a little bit shorter. There we go. I'm going to put some glue on the back of the brim. And I'm going to stick it to the top of the snowman's head. I want this edge to stick out. There we go. And then I'm going to glue the hat. Glue on the back. And I'm going to make sure it's touching the brim before I push down. And there we have it. There's our snowman. Make sure you take a picture of it and post it in the classwork.